Okay, I am changing the engine coolant on a 2019 Buick Enclave. If you can see, I don't know if you can see under there or not. Well, when the water gets through draining, I'll try to get a picture of it, but there's a red knob that you can turn, and it opens up the petcock and lets the water drain out. This is the third drain. We opened it and drained it, filled it up with distilled water. It took about a gallon and 1.3 gallons, or excuse me, 1 3/4 of a gallon. And then as we were putting the water in, we mashed both the upper and the lower hose without the car running. And each time we mashed the hose, it pretty much was sucking water down into the system. And got it where it was stopped pulling the water in, put the radiator cap on it, and took it on about a 10-mile drive, stopping 2 or 3 times periodically, watching, of course, the temperature gauge, and stopping periodically to check and just make sure that our levels are still good and they held. Came back after the first drive, drained the water, well, first time we actually took the lower radiator hose off, which you can see right there, the clamp anyway, and I didn't see the petcock. And then the second time we opened the petcock, saw we had it opened it, got 2 gallons out, filled it up with distilled water a second time, 2 gallons of distilled water out and back in, took it on the same 10-mile drive, and now this is the third run, and it still has a little tint to it, but it's fairly clear. And so when I get this drained out, I'm going to close the petcock, and I'm going to go back with 100%, at least 1 gallon of 100% antifreeze, and then check it as I go to see how my mixture is, and keep adding whatever I need to add, antifreeze or water, to get it at 50-50. I couldn't find any videos that showed the 2019 Buick Enclave. It's like this thing is a unicorn. But anyway, hope this helps anybody that wants to do this. Okay, now you can see the red knob there. You just turn it counterclockwise and it opens, and you can see the water has almost stopped. So we're fixing to close the petcock valve and fill her up. Good luck. Okay, so start to finish with changing out the antifreeze on this 2019 Buick Enclave was 4 hours. That's draining it. It was already cool. The motor and everything was cool. I drained it, filled it up here at the reservoir with distilled water, squeezed the top radiator hose, the bottom radiator hose, and pretty much it was draining itself, but squeezing the hoses helped, and was able to feed, right at 2 gallons of water in each time I did it. And then drained 2 gallons of water back out. I drained it 3 times in total, filled it twice with nothing but distilled water, and then the last time I filled it with 2 gallons of concentrated antifreeze. It's a little bit low now, not much, but just a tad. And of course it's pressured. I just took it on a 20-mile drive, so it's pressured right now, so I can't take the top off to fill it up. But all in all, if you could do it and not have to drive it in between, you could do it really fast, but you need to drive it about 10 or 15 miles to make sure it's circulated through the system good if you want to clean it out. I did not put the flush stuff in it. My fluid looked pretty clean, and so I didn't feel like that was necessary. But the little valve down there to open up, if you have a small pair, and I mean a small pair of lineman pliers, that would be ideal for opening that thing up. It's kind of hard to get to, but it's manageable. It's just awkward. And I had better luck, I think, draining the system with the car tilting downhill or going downhill instead of uphill, like most of the reviews or videos that I watched said. It just seemed to drain better and faster with it going downhill. It didn't seem to make much difference in terms of filling it up, whether the front of the car was facing up or, you know, higher than the back or lower than the back. It did about the same. So my recommendation is to be downhill a little bit. But it is easier to open that valve if the car is up off the ground. The last time I drained and filled, we didn't put the car up on ramps. We just left it on the ground, and I could get it. I got it open, but I couldn't get it closed without getting my jack out and jacking the car up so I could get a better angle on the little valve to close it. So good luck, hope this helps, and happy trails.